Hi, FlossTube friends. This is Tina Frazier coming to you from Columbus, Ohio. Today is Tuesday, June 2nd at approximately 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, give or take, coming to you today with a FlossTube update. So, thank you very much for stopping in. If you're new to my channel, this is my YouTube channel where I talk about my love of cross stitch and other crafts that I do with some other hobbies and a little bit of life thrown in for good measure. So thank you very much for stopping by. Hopefully you'll find something here that might inspire you or encourage you or even enable you to try something new or to jump into a craft that you haven't done in quite a while, or to maybe be inspired to create your own content. So thank you very much for stopping by. I always like meeting new friends here on YouTube, and I'm really glad you stopped in tonight. So thank you very much for stopping by. If you're a returning watcher, again, you're a good friend of mine. Thank you for stopping by and giving me some of your free, important time. Sorry, I had a little bit of a brain slip right there. I'm coming to you today with a Starbucks. Well, it's not really a Starbucks coffee. It is an iced coffee that I made myself in one of my Starbucks mugs. We actually got this tumbler. This is a Starbucks tumbler. It came out a couple of years ago, but we got it cheap. I paid $6 for this Starbucks tumbler. Our grocery store chain here, Kroger, has a Starbucks in it. And once in a great while, the Starbucks tumblers that they have will go on deep clearance. So a tumbler like this that's normally like 30 bucks, 30, 40 bucks in the Starbucks stores, I got this for like $5.85. So sometimes they put their drink cups on clearance. I really liked this tumbler when it came out. I thought it was really bright and colorful and really neat. And I also liked this little flower thing, little rubber flower thing that was on the straw. So we picked this up and I made myself some iced coffee tonight to enjoy. So I to stop in, grab something to drink, and grab a project or a book, or just kind of sit back and relax and maybe take a nap if you so want to. Hopefully you'll get some inspiration from my videos, and thank you again for stopping by tonight to visit with me. If you're a returning subscriber, I really value the fact that you like me enough to subscribe, so thank you very much. I really appreciate having good friends like you in my pocket, and you just, know that you inspire me for just being here and just sharing your valuable time with me. So thank you very much for stopping in. If you haven't already, I encourage you to click the subscription button below and also click the notification bell when you do, so you'll be notified when I upload new content. I have been in the recent past promising to upload content more regularly, but as the summer comes in and as life goes on for the rest of the year, I tend to find myself busier this year and focused on other things and not necessarily getting into cross stitch, and also being willing to upload content here on YouTube. I just haven't really been feeling it, you guys, and it's probably just because of the change in the weather. It hasn't been real hot here. It's been a little cooler and a little wet, but the rain has kind of held off for the last couple of weeks here. So we've been having some really enjoyable weather. So we've been getting out and doing more things and just kind of taking care of adult and life things outside of the house. So as you can see, I am sitting in my craft room. I have the windows open because it is a really nice night out tonight. I was hoping to start this earlier so you could kind of see some of the outside, but it is 9:30 and the sun's already set. I don't know if my cat Gus, our male cat, is still outside. You may actually see Gus pop up in the window on the outside. Gus is an indoor-outdoor cat, and he likes to spend most of his days outdoors, but he comes in at night. So yeah, and he is our skunk detector cat. Yeah, he got sprayed direct, point blank by a skunk a few weeks back. we've had the smell out of the house for quite a while now. But yeah, he got sprayed like point blank by a skunk, and it was not a pretty sight. And if you've ever smelled skunk that concentrated, it doesn't smell like the skunk that you normally would smell at a distance. It smells very chemical, almost like a really strong, not pleasant cleaning agent or solution or something. It just smells very chemical. It doesn't smell typically like you would think skunk would smell. Anyway, I'm sorry if I keep looking down. My camera that I'm filming this on is right above my laptop monitor, and so I keep looking down right below where I'm filming, so you can see that. So you'll see my eyes maybe drop a little bit, but yeah, so hopefully you won't, it's not terribly noticeable. But anyway, thank you for stopping by. I'm looking forward to sharing with you tonight. So tonight's video is going to be mostly about cross stitch. I may be sharing a few other things with you, but I do have a little bit of a punch needle update. I also have a little bit of a sticker hobby update for you to do for you later. So I'm not gonna really do those on this video tonight. It's mostly going to be about, since I don't, it's about once a month, they tend to be about an hour to an hour and a half long. So just to let you know, go ahead and grab something to drink, grab something to work on, or just get up and plan what you're going to be doing over the next hour or so while we sit here and chat and visit. So I am going to share some cross-stitching haul with you. And some of this haul I may have shared with you on a previous couple of videos, but I'm just going to kind of catch up with my stack of stuff. I'm also going to share with you my May statistics for stitching in May, show you the projects that I worked on for May, and show you some plans and such that I have going on for the month of June. Welcome to the month of June, by the way. This is Pride Month, and thank you very much for being supportive. I am an ally. I very much give mom hugs, and you are very safe here. This is a safe space, and I really value the fact that you matter. You belong, and if you need help, or if your family or friends no longer support you, please reach out to me. I will try and help you to the best of my abilities and also be there for you. I will offer support. I will offer you love, and you are welcome here with me. So if you no longer have that family support, you are part of my family now, and I welcome you in. So thank you very much. And just reach out if you need help, because I like having new friends, and I like being able to help any way I can, because that's my nature. I'm very much a caregiver. So thank you very much for helping out and for reaching out, and just know that you are wanted and you are welcome here. So that being said, happy Pride Month, you guys. Pride really should last all year. It should be a 365 thing, not just the month of June. It should be 365. So I hope you find the message here that you need, and also I hope that I can help you in any way that you might be able to the best of my ability, and hopefully we can kind of grow together. So thank you. I still have a lot to learn being an ally, but everybody, love is love, and it doesn't matter who you love. Love is love, and that's the only way it should be. So I hope I hope that this finds you well, and that if you need the support, that hopefully if you reach out, I'll help you to the best of my ability. So thank you very much, and just know that you're welcome, and I really value you, and you mean a lot. So thank you for coming, and thank you for being here and listening. So the first thing I kind of want to get into, before I get started much, I'm going to go ahead and get into some haul. Now, I don't know how much of this you have actually seen already. I don't remember if the spring stitch-in video, how much of that I include, how much of my haul I included in that video, because some of this is coming from there. But yeah, just know that just know that um, I may have talked about some of this stuff already, but I just wanted to share it here with you, um, for you. So, Mom and I went to the Spring Stitch-In in Warren, Ohio. That is a very low-key, small stitching retreat that is held up near the Youngstown area up in Northeast Ohio. And it's about a 2 to 2.5 hour car ride away from home from us here in Central Ohio. And Mom and I have been going up there for the last 3 years, I think. They have a spring one and a fall one. And we've been going to both of them because it's really low key. It's fairly inexpensive. I think total for the weekend is $150, roughly, about $150 roughly for the entire weekend. The hotel provides free breakfast, but lunch and dinner are on your own. And where the hotel is located, the hotel was just reopened after renovation, and the rooms were really nice. So if you have a chance to look at my spring stitch-in video, please take a look at it, and you'll get a kind of a walkthrough of the hotel and just see what the rooms now look like. They're really nice now. They were nice before, but they're just even nicer now because they're new and they've been renovated. Um, but anyway, some of this stuff came from the retreat. So at the retreat, they do a freebie table. There's really no shop. Although this year they had Farmhouse Flossie, um, Farmhouse Flossies and such. Was the vendor that was invited to come to the retreat. And Farmhouse Flossies brought their some of I don't think they had much in the way of fabric, but they brought all their overdyed flosses. So I got quite a set of flosses from Farmhouse Flossies because up until the retreat, I did not previously own any of the fibers. So anyway, I wanted to show you my stash of fibers. So like this one is called Strawberries, and it's a pretty pink and green. Sorry, the light's gonna wash them out. This one is called Happy Unicorn. These are 10-yard sets. This is a pink and purple, and I think a little bit of a green, maybe a gray. I got another. This is another Strawberries, pink and green. This one is called All Hallows Eve. It's a purple and orange. And then this is another Happy Unicorn. This is the purples. And one last color I got a second one of All Hallows Eve. So I've got two of the three colors that I just showed you. And then on the freebie table, so my friend Betsy, who is one of the workers at my local needlework shop here in Columbus, cross my heart, she goes up to this retreat every time that they have it too, because her mom is in a retirement center up there. She goes up there regularly to visit her mom, so she'll go up and visit her mom for part of the weekend and come to the retreat. This time she brought quite a bit of our friend Melanie's stash that she has realized that she is not going to be doing anything with. So my friend Melanie is a really good friend, a really dear friend of mine that used to work at the cross stitch shop here in town. Melanie passed away a year ago in March, kind of rather unexpectedly. And Melanie was an avid stitcher. She was an avid Mill Hill stitcher and just an avid lover of cross stitch. Well, she had a lot of stash, and over the last year or so, her family's kind of been getting rid of, bear with me just a minute. I don't have them over here. But anyway, her family's been kind of passing on her stash, and Betsy ended up with quite a bit of stash. So one of the things that ended up on the freebie table was this really pretty kind of fall colored fabric. So this is from Silk Weaver Fabrics, and it's a 28 count casual linen, and it's a solo dye. It might be 26 count. I don't know. It might be 26 count, but it was a really pretty one. It's kind of a long and thin one, so that's as tall as it is, but it's quite long. So this is the entire piece of fabric. So it would be good for a kind of a runner or a banner of sorts, maybe even some smalls. Um, But while I was looking at Farmhouse Flossies, I found this color. This is called 70s Afghan. Now you're not going to be able to see the color really well, but it's kind of a kind of an emerald green, a brown with some purple in it and some gold. This is called 70s Afghan, you guys. 70s Afghan. It's a 10-yard skein, so you can kind of see it. That's a pretty good representation of the color right there. Yeah, that's pretty good representation of the color. I ended up getting 4 skeins of it. So I have 4 skeins of 70s Afghan because this shows up so well on this fabric. Look at that. So that's a pretty decent representation of it. So I'm thinking that at some point I am going to be stitching something on this piece of fabric. Now, at the freebie table, you know, there's always a bunch of patterns and a bunch of stuff. So the fabric was laying there. I picked up the fabric on Friday off the freebie table, and I didn't find the floss until late Saturday night. So I'm kind of glad that I bought that. So this is going to be something that I stitch. I don't know what yet. So on the freebie table, there's usually lots of patterns and stuff too. And one of the things that I think also came from Melanie's stash, but I'm not really sure because Melanie was also very much into her Irish heritage, and maybe she was Scottish. I think she was Scottish. She's was very much into her Scottish heritage. And so this ink circles pattern that was on the freebie table probably came from her stash, just because it's Namaste, and it's all these little mandalas. And some of those may actually go really well on this. And it would be a very nice tribute, I think, to Melanie on Melanie's fabric. So this is probably what I'm going to be working on at some point. So that was that. Also on the freebie table, if you've watched my channel, you know that Mom and I, every Christmas, we get the 12 Days of Christmas box from Mo Sale. This very lovely piece or skein of pearl cotton. Um, is it silk? It's silk. It is silk. It's a one strand silk. Was on the freebie table. So Mom grabbed it for me because she knows that I really like to collect Mo Sale floss. So this is one strand silk. You stitch just one strand over this. So this is very much like silk stitching with sulky threads. So looking forward to having this in my stash. But like I said, I probably have shown this before, and whatnot. All right. So I am also in the Bee Stitch Me Fabric of the Month. I get the color option, not the neutrals. And this happens to be the May Fabric of the Month. This is Breathless, really gorgeous color. So this is the May Fabric of the Month. I get the 40 count Verdal. Stitching on the 40 count Verdal, you guys, is like stitching on butter. This stuff is amazing to stitch on, and I love it. I've been stitching on 40 count for a while now because I like stitching with one strand over one full cross. But this is a Breathless, you guys. This is gorgeous. So it looks more blue. What looks blue is actually a very pretty purple. And then you have the pink in the middle. Breathless. Very gorgeous piece of fabric. This is the May fabric of the month. So in another couple of weeks, I will be sharing the June fabric of the month, hopefully. But this was the May fabric of the month. I'm glad to add that to my stash. This piece of fabric was the April fabric of the month. I may have shown this already, but I don't. I'm just sharing this again with you. This is called H2O. This was the April fabric of the month. And again, this is 40 count per doll. This is called H2O. And this is just a very nice mottled blue. That is pretty much, a pretty good representation of the color of this fabric, especially kind of up at the top. That is very much a good, fairly good representation of the fabric. H2O by Stitchy. All right. And then the last piece of Stitch Me fabric I have to share with you. I probably have shared this one, but again, I'm just kind of catching up because I don't remember exactly what I've shared with you in the past. This one is called, this is the March fabric of the month from Stitch Me, and this one is called Wicked Sprout. This is a green. So I don't know why it looks yellow on the screen right now, but this is Wicked Sprout by Stitch Me. Hopefully when I hold it back here, you can see the green. So it really is green, but it's a lot brighter than what the light is going to show it to be. It's actually kind of more of a lime green, a little brighter lime green than what's showing. It's very muted out in this, but it's much brighter in person than the camera is showing. So that was the March fabric of the month for Stitch Me. I am also on the Craftways Corporation mailings for the Keepsake calendar and also the Craftways Christmas books that come out once a year, the hardcover books. And I got the 2027 Keepsake calendar. So this is the 2027 Keepsake calendar. And it is a cross stitch calendar. I will show you the general pieces on the back. So these are the cross stitch patterns that you get with this calendar. Let's see if I can get in there. It's not going to focus real well because the lighting and everything. I apologize for the glare. But the interesting thing with the Keepsake calendar is you get the calendar. That's really, okay, so it was on the computer, that's why. So you get the calendar, and each of the months has a big picture of the cross-stitch piece. And then you have the calendar. It's a wall calendar, so you can hang it up on the wall and you can write in it. I keep mine here in the craft room. I have them for the last 4 or 5 years now. So I have quite a collection of these Keepsake calendars. But it used to be the back of the calendar, the cross-stitch patterns would be in the back of the calendar. But then I don't know if they got feedback from their customers or whatnot, but then they started publishing the cross-stitch patterns in their own little booklet. So not only do you get the calendar, but you also get this little pattern booklet. You'll see here it says pattern booklet, 2027 calendar pattern booklet. Lots of really neat things in here to stitch. I kind of wanted to show you one of them that I thought would be really fun, a really fun project. Obviously, I kind of think this Falling Stars one in the winter with the winter hats is kind of cool. I think the angel is really cool. But one of the ones that I really, really like a lot, this one is called Christkindl Market. So this is very much like a winter Christmas market. Stitch on black. That is the December pattern. Let me see if I can find the, here we go. So for the October pattern, this one is by Doreen Jones, and it's called Bewitching Boutique. Bewitching Boutique. Look how cute she is. Isn't she really cute? This one is mostly a full coverage pattern. I believe. Is it all full coverage? No, it is a fully full coverage pattern by Doreen Jones. Fully full coverage. But yes, full coverage. It goes right up my alley because I really like full coverage pieces. So there's that one. I'm not going to do a full flip through of the keepsake calendar for you, unless of course you absolutely 100% really want me to. But I just kind of wanted to show you a couple of the, oh, these little birds are super cute. So this is adapted for cross stitch by Lisa Miller. This is called Play Day, and these little chicks are so adorably cute. Look how cute they are. I don't know if it's going to necessarily focus. Yeah, I don't think it's going to focus for you, but anyway, those chicks are so super cute. So I have started one of the pieces in one of the keepsake calendars. There is a Christmas tree stained glass piece called Stained Glass Elegance, or maybe it's Christmas Elegance, or Holiday Elegance, something to that effect. But it was the December piece from, I think, either the 2023, 2024, maybe even the 2025 calendar that I started sometime last year. So that is in my whip rotation. Speaking of whips, I do owe you a whip parade. I am planning on recording my whip parade in the month of July. So I'm hoping to get that done in July. I will hopefully be putting that up in a couple of parts so you don't get like a 4 or 5 hour video, because I do have 92 whips currently in my stash, and I don't have any plans of getting rid of any at this point in time, or making some of them UFOs where I have decided that I don't work on them. But I'm adding to it. I have at least 2 planned starts that I'm hoping to start very soon, and you'll hear about more of those in my upcoming plans at the end of the video. But the neat thing is the keepsake calendar also comes with this little pocket calendar. And in the little pocket calendar, you actually get the pattern for this piece. So if you're into quilts, that's really cute. And this is just a basic little pocket calendar that you can use to jot everything down in and keep track of things. So yeah, keepsake calendar. And I believe that is it for all of my haul. So thank you very much. All right, we're going to get into some statistics for May stitching. So this is my tracking sheet, my basic tracking sheet. I have more detailed tracking sheets kind of attached with this, but this is my May tracking sheet. So you can see here, these are all the days of May and the days that I stitched and the days I didn't stitch. Lots of no stitching days in the month of May. I will go through my counts for you and everything like that. And then this last column over here is the month of June and what I have stitched so far. So for the month of May, I stitched, I don't have this counted. Let me count it really quick for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 days. I stitched 15 days in the month of May. My total stitching, did I even write that down? No. My total stitching bear with me just a minute while I use the calculator on my phone. I had it at one point, the total. So we have 1028, 308, 430. I stitched a total of 1,766 stitches in the month of May. For the month of April, I stitched 2,103 stitches. So for the month of May, it was 1,766 stitches over 15 days. So that is an average of 117, about 118 stitches a day is what I averaged for the month of May. The 3 projects that I worked on for the month of May were Spring Awakens, the Whatabiz Seasons Stitch Along, and the Patterned Cats piece by Doreen Jones. So I will show you those now. So the piece that I worked on the most was the Seasons Stitch Along by Whatabiz. Whatabiz is a stamped cross stitch and diamond painting, and they do beaded stitching as well. But they are mostly a stamped cross stitch pattern company where Sandy Sylvester, the one person that is the brainchild behind the Whatabiz company, she creates AI assisted designs. Yes, they're AI assisted. They're not complete AI designs, but they are AI assisted. And she puts them up for sale through the Facebook group and on her little website that she sells. You buy the full kits. It comes with pre-stamped cross stitch fabric and the floss if you want it, or you can also buy the PDF patterns for a lot less money. But her kits tend to run about $40 to $50, and I think the PDF patterns run about $15. So you can get the stamped kit and then also a PDF of the pieces that you do, but you won't see any of this artwork except with her. She does say that she uses AI assist, but all of her stuff she renders herself, and so she checks everything before she publishes it. One of the other things, if you go to the Whatabiz cross stitch group, that's WATTOBIZ, I will put the link to the cross stitch group and the diamond painting groups and everything down below for you. On the first weekend of every month, so coming up this weekend actually, she does an auction. I believe the diamond painting auction may be the last weekend of the month, but the cross stitch auction is the first weekend of the month. So this coming weekend, she will auction many kits. And the interesting thing about these auctions is if you win the auction of the one piece that she puts up, that is the only kit of that pattern that she will ever make. So you get the one and only stamped cross stitch kit in whatever count fabric you desire, and you are the only one in the world to have that kit. I was lucky to win an auction last year, so I have a special kit that I am the only one that's going to own it. So that is one neat thing about the Whatabiz kits. So the Seasons Stitch Along, in April, we started the Stitch Along for the Seasons pattern that Sandy Sylvester came up with. And you had 2 options. So it is a series of houses in each of the seasons with the word seasons either at the top or at the bottom. And you got to pick which one you wanted and what count fabric you have. And we had the opportunity to purchase the kit to be started April 1st. So this is my seasons set. Sorry about that. That is not it. Nope, that is not it. It is over. All right. It is over here. And this is the pattern booklet. So you also get the pattern booklet to go along with your stamped cross stitch thing. So the whole reason why they provide the pattern booklet is because with the stamped cross stitch, if you get the fabric wet, your pattern will disappear. The stamped cross stitch pattern that's on your fabric will disappear in water. So they always give you a booklet that you can reference. But this is the season, Sal. So you can see it's 4 houses in each of the 4 seasons. I chose to go with the banner, the seasons banner at the top. And I actually ended up with 2 kits because I had forgotten that I had ordered one. And then a couple weeks later, I ordered a second one. So what I'm going to do is with this one that I just started, I'm going to leave it whole like this. And then the other kit that I have, I'm probably going to do each house individually at some point and then make them their own little display. I don't know if I'll put them on a cube so I could just rotate the cube, but I'm going to have this one, the one I'm working on now, as kind of a wall hanging. So the seasons, Sal, it started in April. I put 1,028 stitches in it. And where I mostly worked on in this, so I started this initially when I started in April. I started working on the bunny in the spring house down here. And I got some of the cloud up here and also the smoke plume from the chimney of the house and a little bit of the roof right here. I got that done and also some of the flower. But where I worked on was I finished this flower and then I worked on some of the leaves over the pumpkin and some of the pumpkin. So you can actually see the progress. So that is what I worked on for this month. This was for part of the Semi-Sane Stitchers Focus piece and also to get some progress on it. I'm not making as much progress on this as some of the people in the Stitch Along for the Whatabiz website are. Some people have have like the whole entire season's banner done. I am stitching this on 20 count fabric. This is 20 count fabric printed over 1. And I am using 1 strand of floss, full cross. It comes with CXC floss, which is a very nice, very silky kind of floss. And this one is Max Colors. This piece has 130 colors. So here is the floss. These are the floss cards for this. This is the first floss card. So when you get the kits, each of the Whatabiz kits, the floss comes on these plastic numbered floss holders. So there are 4 floss holders. So they're all numbered, but these are the flosses. And this floss is super duper soft, you guys. It is softer than DMC floss. I really like the floss that this comes with. So that is the season cell, and I stitched 1,028 on that. This is going back out into the sunroom where I sit and stitch usually in the evenings during the week and on weekends, so I can spend time with my mom. And it's going to sit in there all year, and I'm probably going to be getting hopefully some progress on it every month. So you'll probably be seeing this one every month, but that is the season cell. So that was the one I got the most progress on. This one I got the second most progress on is one of the piece that I worked on during the stitching retreat. This is by Summer House Stitch Works, and it is called Spring Awakens. It's by Summer House Stitch Works. And I am not using the called for floss nor the called for fabrics. So this is where I've ended up. This is a piece of fruit punch fabric. I believe it's color and cotton. Fruit punch fabric. And I am using 4 colors of Mo Sale flosses. So you're not going to really be able to tell, but the floss on this side is kind of a lime green, a very bright lime green. The floss on this side is kind of a yellow. And then in the blue, in the middle, we have a blue and a peach. So where I was before I started, I had some of this part done, but I did all the flowers and basically all of this side motif down here, and I extended the peach across the bottom here. But this is as big as the piece is right here, this square. That's as big as the piece is. And looking forward to kind of getting some more stitched on this. I did finish my Whipco square for this, so it may not come back out because we are moving into summer. But that is what I worked on during the stitching retreat and for the first couple of days of the month of May. And that got 430 stitches. And then the last piece that I worked on this past week, actually, was Pattern Cats by Doreen Jones. Pattern Cats by Doreen Jones is in my Hello Kitty bag that I purchased from a lady on Etsy. This is Pattern Cats. This is Pattern Cats 1. She has 3 other cats patterns in this series. She has this one and a pink one where there's only 2 cats and they're facing this way. They're curved this way. And then she has them in a blue colorway as well. I have all 4. So this one is the one I started with first. And I am stitching this on a piece of, it's hand-dyed fabric, but I don't know who dyed it or where I got it from, nor what the color is. This is a piece of 22 count Hardanger. I am stitching this 1/1 full cross. This is where I'm at. And the stitches, I put in 200 or 308 stitches in on this, but I brought down the black. I brought the black here, and then I started filling in some of the maroon color up here in the corner. So I've been doing black outlining. This black was not extended down here. This is part of this cat's tail right here. And if you look at the dots that I have down here, that's basically as far down as it goes. It's a relatively small piece on the 22 count. I might actually have enough room to put the other pink one down here below it. Maybe. I haven't decided if that's what I'm going to do yet. What I really should have done is I should have moved this up to about here, and then I would have definitely had enough room to put the other pink one down below. But I think this is turning out really, really cute. And it's a pretty fast stitch, so I'm really enjoying it. This is in my medium nerd hoop. But yeah, this is Pattern Cats by Doreen Jones. And that is all I did for the month of May. So that is all I worked on for the month of May. All right. So speaking of May, let me show you my Whipco board. This is where my Whipco board stands, and I did not fill in the yellow. So I do not have a yellow highlighter to fill in, but I will show you my Whipco board. So this is my Whipco board. I'm sorry, it's going to be it's not focusing. I'm sorry that it's kind of blurry for you. But this is my Whipco board. As you can see, there are 6 spaces left in the Whipco board. And unfortunately, I don't have those cards up here. Ooh, bummer. Do I not have those cards up here? No, I don't believe I do. I think the cards are downstairs, and there goes my stuff. So February's box down here is draw Black Needle Society prompt card and stitch the prompt. So the prompt that I originally had in there was something where the model is stitched 1/1 or something with a candle. And I have not yet picked out that project. It's now June. It's been 4 months and I haven't been able to figure out which piece I want to select for that. So as you can see, I've taken out the project. It's whited out. I will be drawing a new Black Needle Society card to replace that square with because I haven't been feeling that prompt. So we have that to do. So hopefully I'll be able to get that little video added on here in a bit. It may go here. And if I wasn't able to stick the video of me drawing the new BNS prompt card, I'll put it at the end of this video. So hopefully I either have the new prompt or you will see me select the new prompt for that February square down here at the end of the video. So for April, I just finished square 14 right here. This was for pattern cats. I just finished the stitching for that. I put in 308 stitches. I only needed 250 to finish WIPGO, but I needed 300 for another stitching challenge on Facebook. So I have finished this. I just have not colored in the square. The other square for April is the project not stitched in 2025. So for that project, I will be stitching the Colorful Bunnies, Lavender and Orchid by Kitty and Me Designs. This was a piece that I had started. Do I have the card? Where's the card elsewhere? I think, did I put the card in here? I started this on Easter of 2020. So this is so far a 6-year project. This is for my second April square, which is why I picked it, because April and Easter and rabbits. But this is Kitty Me Designs Colorful Bunny, Lavender and Orchid. I am stitching this on a piece of 32 count purple hand-dyed fabric, probably by Color and Cotton, and I'm using the called for floss. I have not yet stitched on this, but this is where I'm currently at. So you will hopefully see a progress photo or progress update of this at the end of this month. I'm hoping to get my WIPGO board caught up. So there is where Lavender and Orchid Bunny is. So that is part of my stitching plans for June, is to get my WIPGO squares caught up. Alright. Can I get this put back in with that? Alright. So then for May, I have one square left for May, which is right down here. And this was repeat a 2025 WIPGO square that was not stitched. So I picked square number 23, which was a choice for me in 2025. I did not finish my WIPGO in 2025. So that piece was Jackalopian Tapestry. So this is another piece that I will be stitching on. In June. This is a project by Lindy Stitches. It is called Jackalopian Tapestry by Lindy Stitches. Really cute jackalope rabbit. And this is so far where I've gotten. I only have the top banner partly done. So I will finish filling this in. I am stitching this on a piece of 40 count Newcastle linen in vintage mocha using the called for floss. I started this one March 13th of 2022. So this one is only 4 years old. So I'm hoping to get more of the border done and start getting into the bunny, the jackalope. Kind of a bunny theme going on this month, eh? Yep. So that is for the other Whip Go Square that I have to catch up for May. Okay. Now for June. So we have the February box that I have to pick. We have the May Jackalopian Tapestry, and we have the Lavender and Orchid Bunny for April. So that is 750 stitches so far that I have to figure out, and I have to stitch so far. And then for the month of June, so the two squares called for the month of June is square number 12 and square number 21. So square number 12 is right here. And as you can see, or maybe not, that is a full coverage project. And then down over here is square number 21, which is a 40 count plus project for the month of June. So I will be picking up one of those two things, 40 count plus or full coverage project. For the 40 count plus project, I haven't really set on it yet, but for the full coverage project, I will show you hopefully a new start of mine. There are potentially two new starts that I can do for the full coverage project. So let me get into that because that's the seasons one. All right, let me show you this. So I had talked about my Whatabiz auction win. So this was an auction win that I had won last year. I believe I won it in August. So this was August's auction win. Did I write it in here? No, I don't believe I did. Did I put it in here? No. Maybe I put it on here. No. No. I did not write it down. But this was my auction win for last year from Whatabiz. So this is Whatabiz cross stitch, standard stamp cross stitch, and it is this gorgeous kitty. So the pattern booklet shows you how the pattern is broke up. There are 16 pages of pattern, and this piece has 50 colors and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 color blends. So this one has blended floss. So when you purchase her kits, you have the option of getting max colors, which has up to, I believe, 150 colors, like the season sale does. And you also have the option of selecting whether or not you want blends. I selected blends, not really thinking that I was requesting 20 count fabric. So I actually got this. You can see here, I got 20 count fabric for my kit in 50 colors. I wasn't thinking that, normally when I stitch on 20 count or higher, I stitch with one strand over one. So I have blended threads to use on this. So that means this piece, I'm actually going to be stitching 2 strands, and I'm going to be doing tent stitch, which is half cross stitch. So for this particular piece, it is going to be tent stitch, but it will give me the opportunity to try out tent stitch on Ada. So this is the kit that I got. I unboxed it last year. So as I said before, the kits for Whatabiz, the floss come on these hard plastic floss cards. So this one only has 50 colors in it. You see the flosses are numbered, but this is the floss that you get. You get a nice amount of floss for this kit. And then this is the counted cross stitch fabric printed. This is pre-printed on here. Now with stamped cross stitch, the colors on the fabric are not going to be the colors you stitch with. And they also print the schematic on the side. They print 2 schematics on the side, but they give you well more than enough fabric that you need to stitch this. This is Ada. and it's pretty stiff right now, but the more you stitch on it, and if you stitch on it in hand, it's going to soften up really, really fast. But you can see this is the cat. So you can see one of the cat's eyes is right here. So this is the cat. This is a potential new start for me for June. I'm really considering starting this. So the other thing about the Wadabiz kits, Sandy has a supplier overseas that she gets for her stamped cross stitch kits from. And so it takes a couple of weeks for you to get your stamped cross stitch kits, but she also provides you a hoop. You get all the floss. You get a container full of needles. There's probably about 20, 25 or 30 needles in here. You get a thread picker in case you have to frog. You get a thimble, one of those rubber thimbles. You get some thread conditioning wax. You get a needle threader. There's a needle threader in there. You get quite a bit of stuff in your Wadabiz kit. And you also get a needle container. So this is a metal needle box. Remember those lip glosses that you used to be able to get in the 80s? Like the lip smacker ones. So this is just a little needle thing with magnets inside. So you can keep your needles in there. And all this comes in the kit. So that may be my full coverage new start for June. Also, I could do this one. So this is by a different stamped cross stitch company. The company is Painting Fairy Cross Stitch. Painting Fairy Cross Stitch. This is called Plush Companions and the Stars. So my husband and I really like anime, and this cartoon style just really, I made kind of a spur of the moment purchase on this piece because I really liked this, and I just went out and bought it the moment I saw it. So this is called Plush Companions and the Stars. Look at these witches, you guys. So cute. And this is a full coverage kit. So this may actually be a new start for me. The main difference between this one and the cat one and the Seasons Stitch Along by Wadabiz, the Seasons Stitch Along by Wadabiz is confetti hell, you guys. It is so confetti hell. And the cat are blocks of color. This is blocks of color. So I'm really actually kind of hoping that one of these two full cross stitch kits, full coverage cross stitch kits stamped, will be easy to work on. So with the Painting Fairy cross stitch kit, again, because it's stamped cross stitch, they provide you a pattern booklet. This one actually happens to be like this. It's printed on paper, single-sided paper. So you get the cross stitch booklet with your pattern that you can use. You get all of the floss. You get some bobbins in case you park, and just some other instructions on and information on their floss. And then you get, this just shows you, this one is color blocking. This one has, where is it? This one has 49 colors. And again, the project flosses are on these plastic floss cards. And the floss cards are labeled with a sticker already with the color numbers on them. So this one has 49 colors. And this is a rather small piece, you guys. So this is stamped cross stitch. This is the entire piece right here. It is rather small, but it's really super cute. So I'm looking forward to getting started on one of these too. Because of the size, I'm probably going to opt to do this one as my full coverage piece for June, just because of the size. But yeah, it's not very big. And I got the 20 count version. This one is marked at either 18 or 20 count. I got the 20 count version of this. So looking forward to getting started on one of these two. But I am leaning towards the cartoon witches as my June full coverage project. I don't know yet. Sorry, I'm going to fight with this to get this back in here. I don't know yet. Come on. There we go. I don't know yet what 40 count plus project I'm going to be working on. Yet I have a couple that I've already started. You've seen a couple of those already. I don't know what one I'm going to choose to work on for the second square in June, but hopefully I will figure that out very soon and we will have some progress for you at the end of the month. So one of my main focuses is going to be trying to get WhipGo going so I can catch up my board. I only have 5 more squares to catch up on my board because I have the one from February down here. I have this one from May. I have this one from April, and these 2 are from June. So these 2 are from June. So, all right. So, looking ahead to June, this is the Stitcho board from the free cross stitch challenge group. This is the Stitcho board for the month of June. I have one down already. This was set a stitching goal. So I already have a stitching goal set. The middle square is free. So these are the different prompts. Stitch 50 stitches, stitch 100 stitches, stitch 200 stitches, or stitch 300 stitches. Those are the 4 corners. I get a point if I do the 4 corners. I get 2 points if I do any line. So we can stitch 5 days in a row, try stitching in hand, which I'm going to try and do. Speaking of which, I have to talk to you about that. Let me actually go into that with you. So this is actually haul, but it isn't from a cross stitch store. I got these PVC pipe tubes from Lowe's of all places. These are, I think, 2-foot tubes. And I covered up the things with washi tape because there was some black printing on them. So I cleaned them up, I washed them up, and I got 2 tubes. Because I have been seeing other stamped cross stitch companies from overseas, like mainly Cambodia and several other areas that sell stamped cross stitch kits. They have been putting out videos where they're stitching stamped cross stitch in hand. And they use tubes like this, either foam or plastic or even dowel rods and whatnot, and they roll up their cross stitch fabric to the top and bottom, or left and right, however they like to stitch, and they hold the wrapped fabric against the tube and stitch in hand like this. And they go back. They use the sewing method to stitch in hand. That means instead of going down the hole, pulling it through, coming back up the next hole and pulling it through, you're putting it through the first hole and kind of bending the fabric to stick the needle without letting go of it into the next hole. So the needle is resting through the fabric, like you're sewing. You're actually sewing. And then you pull the needle through, certainly hitting the top of the fabric, and you're doing this as opposed to doing this and then doing this, and then you're actually sewing like this across the fabric. And I would like to try that. So I am hoping that with the cat or the cartoon witches that I can use this and give a demonstration of stitching in hand using these. But they use clamps. They clamp the fabric to it. It adds a little bit of weight so they can kind of hold with their hand and use this, and it allows them to roll it up to keep the stamped part of the fabric clean, and also kind of out of their way. They can roll it up to the area that they want to work on. So I'm really hoping that doing this will allow me to stitch in hand and also have a way to just imagine this as your frame, and you just kind of carry this with you as opposed to carrying a big frame or a nerd tube or a Q-snap to a stitching retreat. You just carry this. You can work on it pretty much anywhere because this is all you got. You know, you can lay this piece, the piece that you're not holding, you can lay on a table for a little extra weight, and you can sit there and stitch like this, you know. So I'm hoping to try that out with my 2 dowel rods. So neat little thing there. And one of the squares on the Stitcho board is try stitching in hand. No hoop. I don't know if having the bars to kind of give it a little bit of weight and something for you to hold is going to be, you know, if that's going to count, but I'm going to do it anyway. And there's just all kinds of other stuff. So you can stitch on a Sunday, stitch on a Monday, stitch with pink, comment one of their Facebook posts, practice French knots, stitch with brown, stitch on a Saturday, stitch on a larger count. So I'll be stitching on 40 count. So that'll, I'll get to do that. Stitch when it is partly cloudy. Just different things that you can mark off on your Stitcho board. And then the stitch count for the month of June. I haven't hit the stitch counts yet for this. 8,000 stitches. Yep. Each one of these lines of X's that you fill in is 1,000 stitches. And you get 1 point for each line, down to 10, down to the 8,000 mark. If you hit 8,000, you get 10 points. Plus 1 stitch for every one of these lines that you hit. So the goal is 8,000 stitches. I don't know if I'll do that. I might this month. I have no idea. So Stitcho. Magazine Monthly Challenge Group. The theme for June is croissant, and the acrostic is France. So for croissant, because lavender is in the French spice blend Herbes de Provence, I am doing the lavender and orchid bunny for 250 stitches. And then I still have yet to figure out all my pieces for the word France, but I am doing antelope antlers for jackalopian tapestry. And I thought I was going to do, I forgot what I was going to put down for C, but it was going to be the colorful bunny. I was going to put that down here, but I think I want to come up with another letter. So the only letter I have for the Magazine Monthly Challenge acrostic so far is A. 24 hours of cross stitch. Their June acrostic is with the letters K and L. And the word is kindred loops. I only have 3 pieces picked out for that. I have the Kitty and Me Designs Lavender and Orchid Bunny for 100 stitches. The Urban Legend Jackalopian Tapestry. And the Lavender and Orchid Bunny for one of the O's as well. So I have 200 stitches for the Orchid Bunny and then Jackalopian Tapestry. So I still have yet to figure out the remaining bits of that. I will be stitching more for Magical Stitches. We are reading Agatha Christie this year. And the book this month is, last month was The Murder of Roger Ackroyd, which I still have to finish. I also have to finish the one for April, which was Murder on the Links. And the book for June is called The Big Four. So I have 3 books that I need to catch up reading on for the Magical Stitches group. And I will be stitching prompts for the monthly stitching for that. And also, I think that one of the annual stitching challenges for that group. So I have to catch up the reading and do all that. But yeah, we're reading Agatha Christie for Magical Stitches. And then for crafts and books, they listed the book. I don't have the book right off the top of my head. I didn't write it down. But for crafts and books, the acrostic is, where did I write it? I didn't write it. Yeah, I didn't write it in here. Full Coverage Fanatics. Oh, there it is. Crafts and books. I didn't write the book down, but the acrostic is road trip. So I will be taking my pieces that I'm working on and fitting them into the words road trip for crafts and books. For Magic Stitchdom, where you are stitching your amusement park, I will still be working on Pixar posters, which is their annual challenge this year. I will be working on that. Pop culture challenges, pop culture stitching challenges. I will be stitching how many in the scavenger hunt still. I don't think they're really doing any other events other than the annual events. I haven't really seen any pop up, or I haven't really looked. So, semi-sane stitchers, I will be working on potentially the opposite seasons challenge, which I will be picking 3 prompts from. They have either winter or summer, depending on the hemisphere that you're in. You stitch opposite, or one that combines both of them. They've listed some prompts to stitch for, and for each prompt you stitch 300 stitches. So I have chosen to do 3 prompts in that for sane, not sane, semi-sane, and they have sane, semi-sane, and insane. And semi-sane is kind of the 3 prompts. So I will be hopefully getting 900 stitches in for those 3 prompts. Full coverage fanatics, they are doing June bingo. I don't know if I'll be doing June bingo. They have a bingo card up with different prompts that you are different things that you try and stitch or try and find in your stitching and stitch. And then they also are doing the longest novel that I am stitching. I have picked The Mists of Avalon for that book. So I have to stitch the length of the novel over the course of the year. And I'm not getting very far. But anyway, so that is full coverage fanatics. That's all full coverage projects. So the 2 new starts that I have will definitely add to that. Semi-sane also has the feisty focus, and feisty focus weekend is this coming weekend, June 5th to June 9th. And then they also have the World Cup for soccer. I don't know if I'll be joining that event or not. But I will probably be doing the semi-sane focus for the month, where I have to stitch at least 1,000 stitches on one project. I'll probably pick one of my new starts, or even the season sale again, and get 1,000 stitches on that. But we shall see where I go with that. I showed you monthly magazine cross stitch, 24 hours of cross stitch, and Siski Stitches, which is Siski is another person that posts on Facebook. She also has a YouTube channel, and they create patterns and whatnot. But they have a Siski Stitches challenge group that she set up because she wanted to share her challenges that she uses to get her whips work done with the world. So she has a Siski Stitches Facebook group, and she puts out weekly acrostics that go from Saturday at 6 p.m. my time to the following Saturday at 5:55 p.m. my time. So it basically goes from Saturday to Saturday, and she puts out acrostics. So this week, starting this past Saturday on the 30th, I didn't write it down, and I don't remember what the word is, but we have the word, so I'll be stitching probably for that. And then for Survival of the Stitch Village, it is a group stitching challenge Facebook group where I am on a team, and they are kind of revamping the game. So they're making the game more adventure based, as opposed to just more like, stocking your town and whatnot. So I was in the brewery part of the town that we were in. We were the brewers. So we have pet care and stuff that we have to take care of, but we also were making drinks and stuff because we were the tavern. So we had to stitch for drinks and stitch for, different things, and stitch food for the people in on our team and whatnot. But they have consolidated some of the teams, and they've also come up with warriors, healers, and gatherers. I'm technically a gatherer just because of my inability to stitch a whole bunch and to be available. I mean, I took a couple of months off the beginning of this year, but I kind of have in the last 2 months have jumped back into stitching supplies and pet care and whatnot. But anyway, they are going to a team. So we'll actually be traveling as a team and kind of doing things a little different in this game. So that's actually really nice. I will be putting the links to a lot of these Facebook challenge groups that I mentioned down below. So if you are interested in joining a Facebook challenge group for stitching, you can. lots of different groups have lots of different requirements for time commitments and whatnot, but it may be a way for you if you're struggling to get progress made on some of your works in progress. That's what WIP is. WIP is a work in progress or a project that you have started. So, that is it. I talked about that. Oh, the PA in Ohio cross stitch group. That is the one where they post up the spring stitch in and the fall stitch in events. They have a summer stitch in as well that is moving to Wheeling, West Virginia. It is sometime in July. But because it is so close to our board game convention coming up in 2 weeks, our big board game convention is here in Columbus. It is Origins Game Fair, and it's board games from basically Wednesday morning through Sunday night. And it's board games, board games, board games. There's probably going to be close to 20,000 people attending this convention. We go to it every year. It's our big expense every year. We easily drop close to $1,000 on stuff and food and parking and all that. So it's our big expense for the year, but we take off Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I believe it's either Thursday or Friday is Juneteenth, which is a bank holiday for me, so I get that day off. Happy Juneteenth, happy Pride, you guys. It's part of Pride. No, it isn't part of Pride. There's another historical relevance for Juneteenth. I apologize, I got that wrong. But also, Columbus Pride is the weekend of Origins, so there's going to be lots going on that weekend. So it should be an interesting time. So yeah, the PA Ohio Cross Stitch Group, we are stitching for a farm and doing stuff for that. I haven't been as active in that, so I've kind of let that slip by the wayside. My word this year is simplify, and I've simplified a lot, but I tried simplifying too much, so I'm starting to get back into some things because simplifying too much, I wasn't getting any work done. And I was like, well, all right, I don't really have a reason to stitch anymore if I'm not stitching for things. So I've kind of jumped back into getting stitching challenges going and whatnot. But I have just eased up and given myself the leeway to just say, you know what? I haven't really been in the mood to stitch. But anyway, June is going to be pretty busy for me. We are going through an audit at work this week, and I am presenting to auditors on Thursday, and not looking forward to that. I never look forward to this time of year in my department. Basically, we just walk through our processes and we show them what we do and try and answer their questions if we can. It's an internal audit, so this isn't like, external. This isn't like CFPB. I work at a bank, by the way. And so it's just, them making sure that our processes are doing what they should be doing. And we're QA, so we QA other departments' processes and making sure that the specialists doing those processes are doing the processes right and following procedure. So they're just looking at us to see, are they really QAing what they should be QAing? So it's kind of a catch-22 in some respects, but yeah, so I get to present my bit of the furnishing side. So these are not disputes. These are what furnishing sends over to the credit bureaus to report on the accounts that we have. So yeah, this is kind of the furnishing side of it and what our QA processes are for verifying the furnishing information. So I get to sit in and kind of lead part of the calls on Thursday. We have 2 of them. Lead part of the calls on Thursday, and I hate presenting like that. I am not a public speaker, even though I have a YouTube video, but speaking to a camera with no audience is a lot different than speaking on a Zoom call with 15 different people watching everything that you're doing. And that's the point, is to watch everything that you do. So yeah, it's a little nerve-wracking to do that, and I'm not looking forward to that. So hopefully I can get some stitching done to kind of alleviate the stress of that. But with the game convention in 2 weeks, my husband and I will be gone basically from 9 in the morning till about midnight 4 nights that week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And we'll be downtown at the convention center just enjoying ourselves and having fun and playing board games. So we have that coming up. There's also lots of different things going on, like the Columbus Arts Festival is this weekend, and my husband and I are hoping to go to that, at least some on Saturday, maybe also on Friday or on Friday. But we have that going on. There's just a lot of other events and lots of stuff that we'd like to take care of around the house and just in life in general, just adult and do stuff. So we're going to have a very busy month of August. Mom and I have also been watching the Women's College World Series for college softball Division One. We've been watching the World Series. The two teams that made it to the finals are the Texas Longhorns, and Texas Tech. They start the 3-game championship series tomorrow night. So by the end of Friday night, we will have the Women's College World Series college softball champion crowned. So that should be kind of interesting. A little bit sad that several of the teams that I really like to root for in the College World Series didn't extend their season much longer than yesterday. And that includes like UCLA and Alabama and Oklahoma. Oklahoma didn't even make the 8-team finals, and their stadium is the one that hosts the Women's College World Series. So it's really sad that they didn't get to play to attempt to go for the championship. But, things happen. You show up day by day, and each day somebody might have a better day than you. And it makes it kind of really hard to win if, the other team that you're playing has a better day. Anyway, so that being said, a lot of stuff coming up in July. One of the things I wanted to add, in July, I will be actually attending an event up in Amish country that I am going to. It is a punch needle retreat. It is called the Harvest Hook-In. If you're interested, let me know in the comments, and I can put the information in the comment for you for the Facebook group that I got hooked in with for punch needle. And I will be going to a 1-day event up in Amish country. It's on a Saturday in July. I believe it's July 25th, whatever that Saturday is, right around there. I will be driving up to Amish country for the morning and staying up there until the late afternoon and driving back home. It's only about an hour and a half drive, so it's not too bad. But I will be going up for a punch needle event. I'm kind of looking forward to that. They will also have cross stitch there, but doing that in July. And then hopefully sometime July or August or early September, my husband and I will be taking a little bit of an extended camping trip. We haven't been camping since 2017, and we're well overdue. We like to tent camp. So hopefully we'll be doing that sometime soon too. Just lots of things going on. And my mom's birthday anniversary is coming up at the end of July as well. So we'll be doing things with her and just kind of hanging out and being adult and just living life. So hopefully you are doing well. Hopefully you're staying healthy, and hopefully you've been able to get out and enjoy some of the nicer weather that we've been having. I'm looking forward to just staying busy and getting some progress done, a couple of new starts on the way, and in July I will also hopefully be getting that whip parade that I owe you recorded. So that being said, thank you very much for stopping by tonight and spending time with me. I really value your friendship, and I'm really glad to have you as a friend. If you need support, if you no longer have a family that is behind you, it is Pride Month. To me, Pride is all year round. But if you need a family, I'm your family now. I give mom hugs, and you are welcome. You are wanted, you are enough, and you are definitely important. So please reach out. I look forward to helping you and welcoming you to my family if that is what you need. And just know that I appreciate you being here. So thank you very much for everything you do for me and for just being supportive and being here and letting me talk to you about passions of work. So thank you very much for being here. I look forward to seeing you next time. Hopefully it'll be very soon with another update. And I do have a couple of different videos to show. I have some diamond painting stuff to show you, some puzzle stuff. I have a Woobles crochet kit and stuff to share with you, and just some general crafting stuff. Oh, and punch needle. I will have some punch needle stuff to show you as well, too. So be on the lookout for that. So thank you very much for stopping by, and we will talk to you soon. Take care, everybody. Keep your head up and keep moving forward. Love one another. Love is love. Science matters. All lives matter. And I love you. Take care. Bye. Hi, FlossTube friends. It's me again. It is about 11:30 or so p.m. just after my last video that I just recorded earlier tonight. And I forgot to share with you something that I kind of with during the stitching retreat up in Warren, Ohio at the beginning of May. I saw something online that I had wanted to try. It was, I believe, a YouTube video, or maybe it was, it might have been one of the stamped cross stitch reel videos that you see on Facebook, where, or that transfer over from TikTok or whatnot, where they show the in-hand stitching for their full coverage stamped cross stitch kits. And I came up with this idea during the stitching retreat in Warren, Ohio, in the first weekend in May. And across the street in the big shopping center from the down the hill from the hotel is a Hobby Lobby, and there used to be a Joann's craft store in there, and there's all kinds of shops in there that you can go shopping in, and restaurants and whatnot, but they do have a Hobby Lobby in there. So I meandered over to the Hobby Lobby on Saturday of the retreat. I kind of try not to spend money at that store just because of their issues with some of their thinking behind what they offer their employees for benefits and whatnot, and just the fact that, you know, they've been caught stealing artifacts and whatnot in the past. I've heard in passing recently that the company is getting better, or at least some of the franchises are getting, or some of the stores themselves are getting better, but I don't know that whole in and out. But anyway, so I wandered over to Hobby Lobby because I was looking for something in specific, in particular, for what I was trying to do. So I went into Hobby Lobby, and I was looking around just trying to figure out a couple of things that I could possibly use for this idea, but I came across these really big bobbins. So I don't have any normal sized bobbins on hand to compare them to, but these are big bobbins. They are by the Artiste brand, which is the Hobby Lobby brand. These bobbins are actually quite a bit bigger than the normal bobbins. So these bobbins, if you look here, are actually 3 inches long. Not quite 3 inches long. So they're quite a bit bigger, and they're about 2 inches wide by 3 inches tall, give or take. And they're quite a bit bigger. These are made out of heavy cardstock, but I found these because I wanted to give an idea that I had to try. I also got a couple of sheets of felt. This is craft felt. This is the thick craft felt, and this is the K Premium craft felt for 39 cents that you can get at Hobby Lobby as well. Now, I don't know if this is only a Hobby Lobby brand, but this felt is actually quite thick. So I got two sheets of felt. I got a purple sheet and a white sheet of felt, and I cut them into strips and pieces so I could wrap the bobbins with them. So you see here, I have a bobbin This is one of the Artiste bobbins that I have partially wrapped on the front with the felt. I glued it using E6000 glue, not E6000, Aleene's Crafty Fast Drying Tacky Glue. So I bought a bottle of Aleene's Tacky Glue Turbo, which is fast drying. Also at the Hobby Lobby when I was there on Saturday, because I wanted to try this out. So I cut the strips of felt. This is white. Let me show you the purple with the purple. So then I decided that I wanted to leave half the card on the front without felt. So if you wanted to, you could actually write on the bobbin. But I covered half of it with the felt, like here, and then I cut the strips, the pieces of felt, big enough to fit on the middle, and also long enough to basically cover the entire backside of the bobbins. So that's what I did here. So the entire backside of the bobbin has felt around it, but this is glued on here. This is dry. This is dry now. But you kind of have to hold it there until the glue dries. But the whole reason for doing this is to create what is called a needle parking lot. Really short needle. Let me go ahead and show you what the needle parking lot is. So the essence is, if you have a piece that you've parked some needles and you want to keep your stitches threaded or your needles threaded, you just take your parking lot, you can write the color on here, and then you just take your needle and it slides into the felt, just like so, and you hold your needle, the felt holds your needle, just like that. And you can write the DMC color number over here, or just kind of leave it, especially if you park it, you can just kind of leave your threaded needle on here. You can leave your threaded needle on here. And you can use I'm planning on adding a little magnet to the back so you can actually kind of make this like a needle minder, sticking this to your piece so you have a little needle parking lot for all your pre-threaded needles. But anyway, I got the pieces of felt and 2 packages of the Artiste floss bobbins. There are 10 in this pack of floss bobbins. The floss bobbins were $1.29 for 10. But then you get 39-cent felt, and you can make a lot. This is, so essentially you can imagine this whole thing was one piece of felt that I cut up already. And basically you have these pieces of felt that fit the width of the middle of the bobbin, and then you just essentially wrap the bobbin with the felt, glue it on there, and you have needle parking lots. So I created these needle parking lots. Here's a purple one that I did. So I created these needle parking lots for my collection, kind of in different ways. You can see one goes to the left and one goes to the right. You can also do the whole front side, or you can even just use the back side that's fully covered. But I created these needle parking lots. I'm hoping to get more use out of these. One of the other things you can do, if you have enough of these for all 400 and some colors of DMC floss, you can put these in with your floss or use these as your bobbins for your floss instead, and do the same kind of thing. Wrap the middle of your bobbin with the felt, and then you can pre-thread needles for your DMC colors and stick them in there. I use floss away bags for my flosses. This is an example. So this is how I store my almost all of my flosses are on floss away bags. So for instance, like this one, I could make it for this golden sandstone color. I can put one of these in with my floss, and then I always have pre-threaded needles. I can always store pre-threaded needles with my DMC colors. on my projects. So wanted to share with you the needle parking lots that I saw on another channel, another video or somewhere on the interwebs the weekend of the stitching retreat, that I went out and got some stuff to make them. So I have like whole sets. I have essentially like, whole sets. I have a lot. I have a lot of these because I've made up a bunch of them. I had 20 floss bobbins that I made up needle parking lots for. So I have quite a stash of needle parking lots. I'm probably going to be making these like my table gifts for people. I'm going to be getting some various size needles and adding needles to them, but these are probably going to be my table gifts for retreats and whatnot, and for different events that I go to. I'm probably going to take this also to the July punch needle event that I'm going to. But anyway, I wanted to add that I came up with needle parking lots. And they're just the cardboard bobbins with the felt attached to them, so you can park your threaded needles on them. So I thought that was kind of a great idea. Hopefully this will kind of give you a little bit of a neat little thing to do. I am going to be keeping all the supplies for my parking lots in here, including the stuff that I got to buy them. I would say if you're going to make these, get the bigger bobbins, like the ones that I bought from Hobby Lobby, and not the normal size thread bobbins that people usually get. I believe I found these bobbins in the actual sewing notions, like over where they have the stuff for the sewing machines and stuff, like the fabric and the like the frayed check, and all the different like cutting boards and rotary cutters and stuff like that. I think that's where I found the bigger bobbins. But find the bigger bobbins and use those for your parking lots. You get a lot for your money, and you could probably even make them and sell them for like $1 or $2, and you have your needle parking lots. So yeah, really looking forward to getting these made and giving these out as kind of like retreat gifts for the people that I meet at retreats. So be looking for that. They're real easy to make. I've sort of been using them. I need to get into using them even more. I need to consider adding magnets to a couple of them to see how they work as needle minders, and just see how they work, even maybe they don't work. I don't know. But anyway, these are my idea for parking lots for your needle parking lots. So there you have it. Thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again sometime very soon. Thank you.